Breaking news earlier, Kyrie Irving is finally cleared to play in the Brooklyn Nets arena. So here's what happened. The New York City vaccine mandate is expected to roll back Thursday. Nets star Kyrie Irving will be cleared for home games, and the New York Yankees and Mets players will be able to play who are non-vaccinated. And this is honestly insane and very hopeful for the Nets in general. Hopefully this really changes a lot, Kyrie being in the lineup. I definitely think it will for scoring-wise. I think they're definitely going to be a better team in general and definitely help them during the playoffs. That's the main concern. Why people are regarding the Nets as not champions right now is because of Kyrie not playing. And honestly, now he can play. This is honestly going to be a pretty good move for the Nets. And honestly, this is very good news for the Nets. They've been looking forward to this. And I've been thinking it's actually coming for a while now. Kevin Durant was calling out the mayor before this, but it seemed like there was finally a vaccination mandate rollback for him to be able to play, so now I guess he gets to play. Honestly, this is very good news for the Nets offensively and definitely will help them. I definitely predict now that with this happening that they have a very good chance of going to the Eastern Conference Finals and becoming a very good team at that point. And here's some other things that happened today. So Tyreek Hill actually got traded from the Chiefs, and honestly, the Chiefs are kind of suffering at the wide receiver position. All they have is Juju Smith-Schuster, Hardman, Travis Kelce, and getting rid of Tyreek Hill was honestly kind of, I don't know, I don't think it was that good of a move, but they did get some picks back. Comment down below what you would grade them at, though. 2022 first round pick number 29, 2022 second round pick number 50, 2022 fourth round pick, 2023 fourth and sixth round pick. Honestly, those are pretty good picks. I'd probably put this at B-, but they could have maybe got another higher pick the Dolphins have, but honestly, in my opinion, that this is a pretty good trade for the Dolphins. I'd grade them an A- for getting Tyreek Hill. Definitely going to make their offense elite. Tua really has no excuse to not perform this year, and this is definitely a good pickup for the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill, he's an absolute beast, and here's some of the other wildest stuff that happened in this offseason. Tyreek Hill traded, Russell Wilson traded, Devontae Adams traded, Deshaun Watson traded, Tom Brady unretired, Aaron Rodgers returned, Von Miller got $120 million, Carson Wentz traded, Khalil Mack traded, Amari Cooper traded, Matt Ryan traded, and then Baker Mayfield asked for a trade. Hasn't happened yet, but we don't know where he's going to go. Maybe Seattle, maybe somewhere else. I'm not really sure, but that's about it. Julio Jones was cut. Honestly, I feel like that was not that good of a move from them. I think there's going to be a couple teams that are going to want him, and that's honestly it. And here's some other things that happened. So here's Mel Kiper's top 5 NFL draft quarterbacks. So number 1, he has Malik Willis for Liberty. Definitely one of the best in my opinion, and deserves to be number 1. Number 2, Kenny Pickett for Pittsburgh. Honestly, probably one of the best quarterbacks in this year's draft. I would definitely put him at number 2. Number 3, Desmond Ridder, Cincinnati. Definitely a good choice right there. Number 4, Matt Corral, Ole Miss. I would agree with that. And number 5, Sam Howell, UNC. Which a lot of people are saying, oh, how is Desmond Ridder ahead of Sam Howell and Matt Corral? Honestly, it's really about performance right now and what they really think of how they're doing in the NFL. It's not about how much about college. And Desmond Ridder is probably going to be pretty good. And top 5 defensive ends. Honestly, this is a great list. Number 1, Aiden Hutchinson, Michigan. Number 2, Kayvon Thibodeau. Honestly, I think he should be number 1. Number 3, Trayvon Walker, Georgia. Definitely a good defensive end. And whoever gets him he's gonna be very good for the defense. Number 4, Jermaine Johnson, the second, Florida State. Definitely a good pickup. Number 5, George Karlaftis, Purdue. Top 5 wide receivers, Mel Kiper. Number 1, Drake London, definitely. Number 2, Garrett Wilson, Ohio State. Honestly, I think he should probably be number 1. Definitely has the speed. Number 3, Chris Olave, Ohio State. Definitely has the speed as well. Number 4, Jahan Dotson, Penn State. Honestly, a great pickup for anyone. Number 5, Jamison Williams, Alabama. I feel like if he wouldn't have got the injury, I think it was some sort of injury right before, or during the national championship, actually. He might be higher on this list. I think he's definitely a good pick. Top 5 cornerbacks. Number 1, Derek Stingley Jr. Number 2, Ahmad Gardner. Honestly, in my opinion, for Cincinnati, he's probably number 1. He's probably one of the best cornerbacks in this draft. Number 3, Trent McDuffie, Washington. Number 4, Tariq Woolen. Number 5, Andrew Booth Jones Jr. Top 5 running backs, you have number 1, Breece Hall, Iowa State. Number 2, Kenneth Walker III. Number 3, James Cook, Georgia. Number 4, Isaiah Spiller, Texas A&M. And number 5, Kyron Williams, Notre Dame. Honestly, I think Kenneth Walker is probably number 1, definitely one of the best in the country. And if he would have probably played better down the stretch at the end, he might have won the Heisman. Number 5, Kyron Williams. He's definitely a good running back. He deserves to be higher. And James Cook, honestly, Dalvin Cook's brother, can't really go wrong there. Definitely going to be a good pick in the NFL. I agree with most of what he's saying, except for the parts where I don't agree. And this is the the Raiders wide receiver, what their receiving core looks like. So Demarcus Robinson, obviously we know what happened to Henry Ruggs. That situation was insane. Bryan Edwards, wide receiver. Devontae Adams, wide receiver. 2-time All-Pro. Derek Carr, 3-time Pro Bowler. Josh Jacobs, 1-time Pro Bowler. Darren Waller, 1-time Pro Bowler. And Hunter Renfrow, 1-time Pro Bowler. Definitely elite with Devontae Adams. And definitely some good pickups for them in general. Derek Carr does definitely have a good offense behind him. I feel like that's what he's been lacking, is a good wide receiving core, and he finally got the chance to get one. Honestly, here's some other stuff. And this is one gotta go. This is CBS Sports. And it has Devontae Adams for the Raiders, Cooper Kupp for the Rams, Justin Jefferson for the Vikings, Tyreek Hill for the Dolphins. Honestly, a lot of people in the comments were pretty much saying they were like deciding either Jefferson or Tyreek Hill. Some people were saying Devontae Adams because he had a good quarterback or something like that. I guess that's supposed to be somehow a disadvantage for him. I definitely think he's probably the best wide receiver in the NFL right now. Devontae Adams is number 1. So I would have to keep him. Cooper Kupp, I would keep him. Justin Jefferson, I think I would keep. And then I would probably say Tyreek Hill got to go. And honestly, that's my opinion. I feel like all the other players, if you had them on a lineup, they would all make up for Tyreek Hill's speed in general, just because how good they are. I don't think you would really miss it that much if you had to take one of them out. So I would take Tyreek Hill out. Who are you taking out? I feel like a lot of people are saying Tyreek Hill or Justin Jefferson. I would choose Tyreek Hill. What do you guys think about this, though? And here's best fits for QB needy teams. So the Falcons, Malik Willis. Honestly, that's honestly a pretty good pick. I don't know. I think they'll probably have to trade back. Maybe they could get him. And then the second one, Steelers, Carson Strong. Honestly, I don't know about this. I feel like Mitchell Trubisky would be a better option than Carson Strong. And then Seahawks, Desmond Ridder. Honestly, I think they'd probably choose Malik Willis if anything. And I don't know. I feel like this is okay, but not really that good of a list. What do you think about this, though? Honestly, there's been a lot of wild things in the NFL this year, and it's only getting started. This offseason is probably the most hectic ever. Most big moves by anyone. Big quarterbacks getting moved off from teams, and everything happening. So here's what happened with Giannis Antetokounmpo during the finals. I'm playing through his injury in 2021 NBA Finals. What basically happened is that if my leg had hyperextend one more time, I was done. It was torn already. It was out. That piece that protected me from an MCL or ACL tear. That's honestly insane. He could have tore his MCL or ACL tear. He probably wouldn't have played this season if that would have happened. Good thing it didn't tear, and he could pretty much finish out the finals and win the finals MVP. One of the best performances was putting up 3 50-point games. Almost got Michael Jordan at number 4, but honestly, I can't wait for this year's finals, and the Bucks have a very good chance of repeating. And honestly, this is a great option. And here's what happened with LeBron. Highest single season points per game, 19th season or later, NBA history. So, LeBron James, 30.0 in his 19th season. 2021, 2022, that's amazing. Kobe Bryant at 17.6. Look at the discrepancy. 2015, 2016. And then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 14.6. 1987, 88. And Carmelo Anthony, 13.5. 2021 to 2022. Unqualified players. This is honestly insane and shows how LeBron's longevity makes him one of the greatest players of all time, in my opinion. What do you think about this, though? And Gonzaga has a 41.6% chance to win the NCAA tournament. St. Peter's now has a 0.1% chance to win the NCAA tournament. That would be honestly amazing. A 16 or a 15 seed actually winning an NCAA tournament. That's gonna be insane. If that actually happened, that'd be insane. And Gonzaga, they have a 41.6%, like I just said. Duke has a 9.8% chance. I'd probably give them a 15. Kansas, 9.1%. I'd probably say 9.8%. Arizona, 7.6%. I'm giving them around a 10%. Houston, 7.3%. I agree with that. Purdue, 6.7%. I agree. Villanova, 6.7%. I would give them around a 11% chance. UCLA, 3.7% chance. I definitely would give them probably a 10% chance. Texas Tech, 2% chance. Honestly, in my opinion, I would give him a 4. Providence, 1.5%. I agree with that. Michigan, 1.3%. That makes sense. UNC, 1.2%. Makes sense. Miami, 1.1%. Makes sense. 0.3%. Arkansas. Iowa State, actually, 0.1%. St. Peter, 0.1%. Definitely do agree with that. If you bet on them, you would win so much money if they won the championship. Honestly, I don't know if I would take that bet, though. That's honestly insane, though. What do you guys think about that, though? Here are my predictions for tomorrow college basketball games, though, for the Sweet 16, the start of the Sweet 16. So at 4:09, Arkansas versus Gonzaga, 4 versus 1. I think Gonzaga's going to win this one, win in transition. It's going to be a very hard game for them to win, and it's going to be very close, I feel like. Michigan versus Villanova. I think Villanova's going to win by 5 points. Texas Tech versus Duke, 3 versus 2. I think Duke's going to win this by 3 points, and honestly, that's my final point thing. Honestly, a lot of great games on. And then Houston versus Arizona. I think Houston's going to win the upset tomorrow. And I think they're going to win by 3 points. I think it's going to be very close. Might go over overtime. I don't know, but I would say 3 points. But honestly, there's some crazy things happening in sports right now. And what's your opinion on them? Comment down below in general. And what do you think about this? Here are the Super Bowl favorites. At number 1, they have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Honestly, I agree with that. Number 2, the Buffalo Bills. Definitely one of the best. Number 3, the Los Angeles Rams. Definitely repeat champions. Definitely up there. Number 4, the Cincinnati Bengals. The Joe Burrow. Definitely didn't lose anything. Add an offensive lineman. Definitely makes a lot of sense. Number 5, the Green Bay Packers. Honestly, I don't like this at all. They're definitely not favorites. They just lost Devontae Adams. They would have to get another good receiver to make up for that. And I just don't see that happening. He's a type of receiver where you can't lose him and still be fine with that. It's not like he's a replaceable receiver. He's a top 1 receiver in the NFL. Probably the best wide receiver in the NFL. And you can't lose him like that. And honestly, I don't think they're a favorite at all to really win. But what do you think about this? Honestly, that's probably about it. And goodbye.